The first time I did stand-up, I was 23 years old and I had always wanted to do stand-up. And I was like, I better do it or I'm gonna beat myself up for the rest of my life. So I started going to an open mic. This was in Montreal at the Comedy Nest. And finally one day I was like, okay, I called in. It was really easy to get a spot, which really upset me. I thought it was gonna take 2 months I was gonna have to wait. And they were like, yeah, we'll put you on this Monday. And I was like, oh no. Anyway, my goal was to have the audience laugh one time. I was like, if they laugh once, I'll be happy. And then they laughed 8 times. And it was a weird experience. It was kind of out of body. I felt like I was on autopilot, but I told my weird jokes and they were weird. I don't even know if they were jokes looking back. They were just weird little quirky statements. But yeah, they laughed and clearly I had a good energy and they liked me. So I was thrilled. I think Canada's a really good place to start your comedy career because a lot of people, especially in the stand-up world, talk about us somebody came up with this metaphor, I can't remember who, but we're like soldiers who've been training at some kind of facility. And then we come to LA or New York and it's war and we're ready and we came out of nowhere, right? Because we have in Canada, you get to do a lot more headlining as a stand-up comic than you would in a city like LA or New York, where it's just showcase, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, right? And so yeah, when I got to LA, I started doing shows and people would be like, Rebecca Kohler. And then I would kill and they'd be like, who the F is this? So it's definitely a good place to start and to grow. That said, I came here later in life because it's a very expensive move. It's a scary move. And some people have a little more chutzpah than I did. I waited a long time and I waited until I saved some money from writing jobs that I had in Canada. I waited until I felt secure, other people wait to have children. I waited to move to LA. And so whatever, I'm still happy to be here, but it took me a long time and I kind of wish it was easier for Canadians to seed our pots, grow a bud, and then move here without needing $10,000 and a lawyer and a lot of paperwork. Networking is a really interesting aspect of what we do, I think. And what I don't like the word networking. I would never say, I'm going to a party to network. But what I like is that I slowly realized that going to a party is also accidentally networking. Throughout my career, there were times where I would go to a party or meet somebody at dinner or through a friend, and then cut to a few months later, I'd get an email or a call oh, this is so-and-so, I met you through such and such. We're actually looking for a writer or a comedian. And you start to realize that everybody you meet is a potential. Women today in comedy, it's still hard, but they have it so nice. I was often the only woman on a bill. I would ride with men in cars who wouldn't acknowledge me or would hit on me or would talk about crazy things. It was like being in a locker room. And I kept getting on stage and I was like, I don't care because I really want to do this. I am so thankful for the women that came before me, and I want all women to always be thankful for the women that came before them. You can't forget. And women today, just keep being you and get on a surfboard and ride the wave that you've got right now, because this is, I guess this is naive, but I would like to say it's almost coming on par. I'm not so worried oh, how are women gonna make it in comedy now? I'm kind of how are men gonna make it in comedy now? Things have shifted so much. How does a woman make it in comedy today? The exact same way a man makes it in comedy today. Just do it. And I think that's always the rule. Just do it.